Oilerslive Podcast. Oilerslive Podcast.
Now, get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live Studio. Subscribe or follow today.
Hey. It's Michael back for another Oilers Live Tuesday. I've got as my guest tonight a fellow that as we were talking off air, I said is one of the hosts of the longest running Kraken podcast. Follow the show. Welcome to the show, Brett.
Hey, thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, I'm, dude. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be here because I'm a new hockey fan. Of course, it's a new franchise. I'm a new to hockey podcast and all that. So having a vet like you show me the ropes, man. Thank you so much. And I mean, I saw you reach out on Twitter, jumped on it immediately. I saw some other Kraken podcast turn you down. I don't know what's up with those jokers, But we here at Release the Show, Michael, we are here for you, my friend. And I have two small children, but I dumped them tonight because, of course, it's game night. And I'm ready to talk some hockey with you, man.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So it's game 2, preseason, of course, for the Kraken, and they beat our foes, the Canucks, in game 1. That's pretty exciting. That was in Spokane, so that's kind of neat as well. And did you get a chance to watch the show or watch the game?
We embarrassed the Canucks, Michael. We embarrassed them, tore them apart. You guys were 1-0 in franchise history. It's amazing so far to be a Kraken fan. It already has been just in the couple years leading up to this team and its inception. Like the Seattle is just ready to go, rabid. We're just ready to support this team. And their first game out was amazing. They were down 2-0. They're over in Spokane. Of course, we're all excited to see them finally on the ice, but they barely had a few practices and whatever. And they're down 2-0, but they come roaring back and win 5-3. Morgan Geeky's like, hey, hold my beer. Let me go tie this thing up real quick. The Spokane Ice Arena is going crazy. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better night for game 1. And hopefully we keep the good times rolling,
Yeah, it's awesome to have hockey in Washington, and of course Spokane is no stranger to hockey. In fact, one of our favorite players, Kyler Yamamoto, played in Spokane for a while, I'm excited. I mean, I think it's been forever going that Seattle should have a team. It's nice to see a rivalry already there between Vancouver and Seattle, and of course. I mean, what better rivalry than when you can drive to a game, right? Like, and watch your rival. So, the next thing you need is a NFL team in Vancouver, but don't tell the CFL fans that. But
we've already got the BC Lions, right?
That's right. Yeah. No, I think the Seahawks might tear them apart just a touch.
We kind of used to have it with the Supersonics back in the day with the Portland Trailblazers,
That's
like
right,
a rivalry. And now we've got it in a different sport, of course, but. I'm telling you, man, like everybody in Seattle is just so excited for this team and have been for a while. I mean, the jersey sales are setting records. The season tickets sold in record time. We're seeing a lot of followers, like obviously jumping on the podcast. Release the Show is the name of the podcast. By the way,
great name, by the way. I love it.
Check this out. I mean, we're just 3 dudes who are friends, who are sports fans, who are new to the world of hockey. Of course, our one buddy on there, Kevin, is like kind of the longest running hockey fan of the 3 of us. He used to root for the Caps, of course. We're trying to get him to give up his pin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're having a good time over there. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So you've now in preparation for this, how long has the podcast been in the works?
So, okay, Kevin, let's see, my buddy called me because I like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it yet here on the air, but I co-host the Seahawks podcast.
Yeah.
With myself and Lofa Tatupu, who's an all-pro linebacker for the Seahawks. And so we've had a lot of fun doing that. And my friends know that I do that and stuff. And so my buddy Kevin, who is a radio guy in LA way back when, but has since raised a family and moved on, we were just chatting, and he's like, hey, let's get into something here. The Kraken are going to be a thing. So I think we started talking about it maybe a year ago. We brought on another friend of ours, Chris, who loves to crack wise and is sort of the grumpy old man, even though I'm like grumpy old man, but I'm the loud grumpy old man.
Yeah.
He's just grumpy old man. And he's like, he does in-stadium entertainment for the Seahawks. And so he's kind of like locally plugged into the sports scene up there as well. And so it's just like a no-brainer, we started doing it. I think we've done like 20 episodes now, maybe under. How many has it been? 12? Oh, it's been 12 maybe. I'm looking. Overshot it a little.
Well, 12, 20.
But,
I mean, you lose count after 2, really, right?
Hey, it's like, when do you get a chance to be part of a brand new franchise, and especially in the world of podcasting, which I have, I think I have 5 podcasts or 4 podcasts that I'm a part of. Now this is the 4th. And it's like, it's just so exciting in so many different ways. And how can we not jump on board? And like I said, man, there might be other Kraken podcasts out there, but we are the Kraken podcast. All right. Don't buy what anyone tells you. We are real fans who talk like real fans. We might not know all of our X's and O's, but we are passionate. And we'll go down with the ship, man. We're loyal. We're going to be here till the end. So
did you get a chance to watch some of the playoffs then in your foray into this new game that you haven't really followed until now?
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of when we started the podcast, I think, was sort of right after the playoffs were over last year. And I mean, super exciting, of course. It was also fun to try to pick out who we were going to be able to pick up off of these teams.
Yeah. That's part of the fun, right?
A little poaching, But so it was fun to watch. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why they even have a hockey team in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Can't be any worse than Atlanta.
It's funny. On the podcast, we decided to try to pick a sort of an arbitrary team to have a rivalry with. We settled on the Florida Panthers. So our show has a rivalry with the Florida Panthers. That's neither here nor there, but there's a tidbit for you.
Yeah, well, I'm sure both their fans will get right into that.
See, everybody.
Yeah, I know. I do. In fact, I do know a couple of Panthers fans, but not many. I remember when they came into the league, and how exciting it was. They actually had a good first season. Nothing like Vegas, of course. I'm curious, do you know all of the tie-ins between your Kraken franchise and the Oilers? Because there are a number of them right now.
No, I don't. And that's half the reason I wanted to come on here tonight, so that you could educate me about all this stuff. So
so there's a fellow on your team, Adam Larson, who's now he's going to be a good stay-at-home defenseman. He doesn't have a lot of offensive superpowers, but I'll tell you what. Anytime you hear people who've played against him, they say he's mean and nasty in the corners, and he's incredibly hard on his skates and tough to beat in a corner battle. And of course, Seattle signed him in the offseason. So that was the expansion pick, so to speak. It wasn't really a pick, I guess, but he, as a free agent, he went and he signed with Seattle. It's a bit of a loss for Edmonton. In fact, it's a lot of a loss for Edmonton. Our team has tried different ways to build up on him. You need guys like Adam Larson who are good defensemen, keep the puck out of the net and make it hard to play against really big, tough guys. And I think he's got a number of years ahead of him, and he's a bit of a leader. Lots have been talked about with him. He was traded for. Are you familiar with Taylor Hall yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, Taylor Hall plays for the Boston Bruins, and he was a first overall pick. Oh, I should know the year, but I don't. It makes me a terrible host. But he was a first overall pick, and part of the Edmonton Oilers franchise, we had what we called the Decade of Darkness. It was actually more like 12, 14 years. Where we didn't make the playoffs. We were down at the bottom of the league. We got the first overall pick like 3 years in a row, including Connor McDavid. And if you're going to watch tonight, I know you're a Kraken fan and you're going to be the biggest Kraken fan, but as a fan of hockey, you are going to love watching this guy play. I mean, he's the fastest man on skates. Not
Yeah.
only is he fast on skates, but he can handle the puck, and he thinks at a speed that you and I dream of, right? Like he's just on another level, and he is easily the best player in the world today, and he's breaking records and doing things that people haven't done, for years. In fact, he's got a shot at doing something this year that only 2 other players in NHL history have done, which is 50 goals and 100 assists. And if anybody does it, it's probably him. So we'll see what happens, right? Anything can happen.
Well,
in a
not
year.
if Adam Larson's got anything.
Yeah, that's right. And Adam Larson won't be playing tonight. But so you've got him. There's another fellow who used to play. So I brought up Taylor Hall, by the way, because Adam Larson was traded for Taylor Hall. So Taylor Hall was one of our first overall picks. And Adam Larson, kind of when he came to Edmonton, a lot of people were really negative of that trade because Taylor Hall was, supposed to be a franchise player. And he ended up, actually, Taylor Hall won the league MVP 2 years after he was traded for Adam Larson. And the Oilers, they won a playoff series, but that's about it, right? And so, it's kind of, there's definitely some controversy around it, and some people never accepted him for that reason. So anyway, so he's getting a fresh start in Seattle. I think good hockey players and good hockey folks understand that Adam Larson's a good player and will do well in Seattle. He's a good leader. You've also got Jordan Eberle.
Yeah.
So he is wicked. He's awesome.
I'm excited about something we do on our show is we try to figure out the guys' hockey nicknames and what we're going to be chanting from right behind the bench, And so we were thinking, like, what is it? Is it like Jordy? Is it Jordo? And I was lobbying that we should just call him Dan.
Well, why not, right?
What's his nickname though? What am I supposed to be yelling from the upper deck?
So here, here's how you really hockey names are pretty easy, right? Like they're not too. So
I'm thinking hard about Dan.
Yeah, Dan's probably not good, but like your last name's Davern. Is that the right way to pronounce it?
Davern.
Davern. Okay. So you'd probably become Davs. Like that'd be your nickname. So Eberle is Ebbs, right? My last name's Hebert, but it's spelled Hebert. People call me Hebes,
Right.
Okay. So, and if it's like, Hall, Taylor Hall, for instance, people called him Halsey. So you add an S and a Y. Add an S and a Y at the end. Like Davernsey might be a name, but it's a little too long, so we'll just go Davs, right? But if it's a single, So if it's like a single consonant, then you add the SY after to kind of. On YouTube, Robert's saying Giordano, for instance, who's playing for you guys. His nickname's Gio.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, hockey nicknames are about as lame as they get in any sport. But you know what? I mean, a lot of these kids are just guys that came off the farm and played a little bit of hockey, and so they're just happy to have, it's whatever the easiest name is to call for the puck, right? And so you're not gonna. Some guys have some cool names, like Lafleur was, Fleury is the flower because fleur is flower in French.
Sure. That gets kind of weird in the locker room. Though.
McDavid, they call McJesus. So it's a bit of, anyway, you're gonna enjoy that part of hockey. I mean, it's it really is. I mean, it is a game full of a lot of farm kids that are good on skates and like to hit hard and like to dust it up a little bit and throw the gloves once in a while. And you're going to have some.
We're going to love it up there. I think it's going to be an arena and an experience in Seattle that I think like even away fans, like fans of other teams are going to just want to come experience when their team plays us, honestly, because Seattle sports fans in general, if you see how they support the Seahawks, if you see how they supported the Sonics when they were good, I mean, we all know what happened at the end there, but the Mariners in the 90s when they were good, like Seattle rallies, and it's like such a loyal city. It's a relatively small city, I mean, I think we're like the 12th biggest media market in America, but it's like the greater Seattle area is like 900,000 people, so relatively pretty small. It's not like a Los Angeles or something like that. So it's a really like tight knit kind of big town. And like, I grew up going to Seattle Thunderbirds games, like the minor league team.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends I grew up with played hockey growing up. We're on select teams and things like that, travel teams. And we just have, for whatever reason, never had this NHL team. And so, I mean, people are just, I mean, the roof is going to come off that place, man. It's going to be so fun.
Oh, yeah. I think the downside
on TV.
The downside for us Oilers fans is this. We love, like, if you watch the ratings, when the Oilers are in town, there's a lot of Oilers fans at games. So, like, when the Oilers are in Seattle, you'll see a lot of Oilers fans. But the downside is I actually think Seattle fans are going to be big fans. And so, a new franchise comes in the U.S., and hockey fans in Canada are thinking, oh, that's great, easy tickets for me to get when I want to go on the road, right? And I love going to Seattle. Like when Vegas came into the league, if they didn't do well, it was easy to get tickets to go watch the Oilers play in Vegas, right? But they happen to do well, and so they've got, a good fan following there.
Sure.
But Arizona, I mean, every game is an away game for them, right?
Well, and it's funny that you bring up Arizona, right? Because a lot of people in Seattle thought that we were going to get the Coyotes even a couple years ago, right? There was like a leap stage or whatever, with the building, and so it seemed like that was going to happen. People were excited for that, but there's nothing like getting your own fresh team, which is what this team is. Like we went through it with the Sonics becoming the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's heartbreaking. It's terrible. And like, yes, we would take the Sonics back, but do we really want the Minnesota Timberwolves to become the Sonics? Like, not really, but so this Kraken thing, this fresh start, this total blank canvas. Oh my gosh. It's so exciting.
Was it your pick for name, by the way, or what do you have? What do you have in mind?
It wasn't my first choice. I mean, I kind of thought that like steelheads would be cool, like because it's got the double entendre sort of thing with like obviously a steel head, like, and then obviously a salmon, which is local to the Northwest and whatever. And I thought the logo would be cool. It'd be like a salmon with like a hard hat, like a steel hockey helmet on or something, holding a stick. Like there'd be a cool cartoon logo, but, and I thought Kraken was a little over the top, but the day that happened, I came around so quickly. Because then they released the art and the logo and that mean S that I don't think you can see in the background behind me a little bit.
Yeah,
right
we're
there.
all familiar with it. Yeah,
that red eye is it's so mean looking, and the tentacle coming directly up the S, and it's a kind of a cool homage to the Metropolitans, the first American team to win the Stanley Cup or whatever. Am I right about that? Or what's the stat there?
Yeah, well, I can't believe you're telling me hockey history here that I'm not I'm not familiar with.
There's some sort of weird
look that up.
thing about before the NHL was around, the team from Seattle won the Stanley Cup, and it was in the 1800s or something like that. The Seattle Metropolitans, this is all real. I'm not making it up.
No, they are real. 1915 to 1924. You betcha. Yeah.
There you go. And they won the Stanley Cup when? It should be right there, right?
1917.
There you go. So Seattle has not only a brand new hockey team, but has already won the cup. And I think they should put a banner up in the rafters, by the way, just to pay tribute.
I think the Senators did something like that when they came back. The Ottawa Senators came back in the league a number of years ago now, but they were a historical team, the Ottawa Senators, but named directly after the team that was. So they did something like that, like some type of honor for the old team. I think it'd be cool. Well, Seattle Metropolitans. I wasn't aware.
Back to the logo and stuff. And let me tell everybody, like the red, you can see the red piping on the jerseys behind me. That red is the Metropolitans red. The Metropolitans were like green, red, and white, I think. So that red pays tribute to them. And then also the S, the Metropolitans had a big S on their chest that said Metropolitans inside of it. So the big Kraken S. I mean, it works with Seattle, of course, but it's also a way of paying tribute to that old team and stuff. So they're just doing it right. as a franchise so far, and I, that's why people are so excited. I mean, Jerry Bruckheimer's a part owner. I mean, this thing's going to be Hollywood, man. The marketing is going to be crazy. The production value is going to be crazy. I can't wait to be there opening night in Seattle. It's like in late October.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Vegas, and I'm sure they've, taken all the great parts of what Vegas has done for the league. Some people hate what they've done, to be honest, and there's always going to be traditionalists in every sport, but they really, they've done something that nobody's done. They've made it an entertaining, game to watch outside of the game itself. In fact, I'll say this about the Oilers. They haven't, let's hope they get better, but they haven't done that. They've got, if you ever get a chance to come out to Edmonton and watch a game, the arena is fantastic. Beautiful arena, probably one of the best in the league.
Cool.
But the off-ice entertainment isn't quite there yet. And, if you look at, Vegas and you talk to anybody who's watched a game in Vegas, they'll tell you it's just fantastic. Of course, you're in Vegas, so you're surrounded by entertainers, but you can do that anywhere. You could do it in Seattle. You could do it in Edmonton. You might be able to do it in Calgary. Who knows?
Well, do you think what do you think about ESPN getting the NHL back and all of that, like all that money? I mean,
yeah, no, that's great. They
money into all this off-ice entertainment. Like ESPN knows how to entertain,
they sure do. They got the right crew. They got Wayne Gretzky on there, so that's cool.
Well, for you guys, I mean, it's easy for you guys to find hockey on TV. I totally get that. I'm an actor by trade, everybody, and I've shot movies in Vancouver and stuff, and TSN and all that. You find hockey so easy. Down here, it was on NBC Sports Network or whatever. Nobody has that. Nobody knows where to find it. I mean, now coming to ESPN, first season of the Kraken, I think the Kraken themselves have like 13 national games on ESPN. Awesome. This is going to be a banner year for the NHL, man, for everybody too, I think. I mean, high tide raises all boats.
Yeah. Great saying. That's right. And, of course, we got fans back in the stands this year, so that's exciting. There'll be fans at the game tonight. I know a lot of people are excited about that. And, it's going to be – I think it will be a great year. It's a great year for the Kraken. It's, to enter the league. Who knows? I think, just being in the league is a success. Hopefully, for you, they have, as much success as Vegas did. It doesn't look like they're built that way, but I would have told you the same about Vegas. in fact, everybody, all the experts, and I'm not one of them, but all the experts thought Vegas would be, lower half of the division that year, and they were just, it was like the throwaways got together and said, "Screw you, we're gonna show you what we're made of," and they've
almost
been good ever since.
They almost bankrupted the city that they call home.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, right? And here's something for you. So, I had one of the podcasts from Vegas on my show called Sin Bin Vegas, and you might want to talk to the guys over there. But they, the day that it came down that they were getting a franchise, the fellow there, he started this podcast, and now he's got a press pass for Vegas Golden Knights games, and he goes down, he talks to the fans. He's become one of the major media cool. for the Vegas Golden Knights, and he's done a good job and continues to do that. And he's popular, and he's having some fun. He's got a radio and a media background like yourself, and is engaging, and he's really taken up the game of hockey. He's learned a lot about it. Have you skated before?
Okay. I have ice skating stories for you, my friend.
All right.
I grew up ice skating. Yeah, people would have birthday parties or whatever, just like you would at a roller rink. So
yeah,
there's that kind of skating.
Yeah.
I played a little rollerblade, like street hockey, out in the street with my brother,
right
neighbors and stuff like that. But nothing too serious. Never played on a team or anything like that. There is footage of me in an independent film called Beautiful Ohio.
Seek that out for next time.
Yeah, man. I'm playing hockey in like the family backyard with like William Hurt and Rita Wilson, who's Tom Hanks' wife, and they played my parents. And so there's like a little fake hockey playing going on.
Yeah.
They lay down this plastic movie magic. They lay down this like white plastic sheet basically, and you can kind of skate on it. Air quotes, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, that's about it. I lived in New York City. I would go skating in Central Park,
All right. You know what? I've never gone skating in Central Park, so that's pretty cool. Well, I think you're ahead of the game then. I mean, that's the first start. I think. Hey, look, have you been on another hockey podcast yet?
No, you're my first one.
All right. That's great to hear. I've heard that before. Oh man.
Hey, I got a question for you. Can
I just gotta let me finish my
I have a
thought.
question for you.
Okay, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me save us from ourselves.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
want to ask you because I mean, dude, you're obviously a big time hockey fan, know hockey really well, all that stuff. Like, what do you really see when you look at the Kraken roster, when you look at this brand new team? I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but my knowledge only goes so far. Like, what should we be happy with as Kraken fans in our first season?
When I think about the team and look at who you picked up, I mean, what I was most impressed with was the size of the defense. Like it is, so it's almost built exactly opposite of how the Edmonton Oilers are built, and the way the Edmonton Oilers are built, unfortunately, is great for winning regular season. In fact, if the Oilers, we kind of expect them to finish second in the Pacific Division to the Golden Knights. That's what everybody sort of, if you took the odds today, they could finish first. They could finish first in the West. They've got two of the best hockey players in the world offensively and two guys that finish top offensively on the defense. But defensively, we're not, I wouldn't say that we look like we're going to be really extremely tough to play against. That could be wrong. I mean, we've got a couple of veterans on there that have been tough in the past, but they're vets, so they're getting a little bit older. You got guys like Alexiak, who is a monster. Like, the guy's a giant. You've got Adam Larson, who I said, already is a guy everybody talks about, like players that play against him all talk about. Giordano, I hate the guy. I absolutely hate him. Right? Partly because he was involved in an injury on Connor McDavid a couple of years back, almost one that was close to ending his career. And then he, again, and look, who knows? Did the guy mean to do it or not? But he had a play that was against Connor last season, maybe. Anyway, that was kind of dirty. Could have taken his legs out, and knees out, and ruined his career again. And so Giordano's not a very popular guy in Edmonton. And but having said that, I mean, that's the kind of guy he is, right? And sometimes guys like that, I always say, the guys I hate the most are sometimes the guys I want on my team, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you know this. I mean, you're a football fan.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Right? The guy.
We had Richard Sherman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Boom. Like, those are guys who you love when they're on your team, but when you're playing against them, no, thank you.
Exactly. So your defense, that's the kind of defense you have, right? And so that defensive core, and then you've got a couple of guys that we'll wait and see how they do in net, but they're probably going to be better than what we've got in Edmonton. Might be. I mean, that's up for debate. Anyway, and you've got a couple of guys like Sheahan who played here in Edmonton. He's a solid guy. He'll play third, fourth line down the roster, and he'll play hard minutes. He's a hard guy to play against. Brings it every time he's good on the penalty kill. Eberle, who's he's a key player, and he'll make some magic for you, and he'll be he's the kind of guy you love or you hate depending on the night, right? It depends on which Eberle shows up. But you got a lot of guys that I love. Appleton, I like Appleton. Played in Winnipeg. He's a good player and fun to watch.
Whose jersey would you buy first? Because I haven't bought one yet.
Oh, sentimental value. I'd buy the Larson jersey, but if I was going to buy, I'd probably either buy an Eberle jersey or even a McCann jersey. Would be two guys, or even an Alexiak jersey. Like those are a few guys that are going to be around for a while, I suspect.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, I know your listeners predominantly are going to be Oilers fans, of course, but for our show, we have a contest going on our show, or a giveaway, or whatever you want to call it, where if people subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review on there, and all you got to do is leave your review with and make your review name your social media handle or some way we can find you. We throw your name in a hat and we'll buy you a Kraken jersey if we pull your name out on our air.
All right.
An authentic Kraken jersey. So even your listeners, if you guys want a Kraken jersey for whatever reason, maybe you just like collecting.
They're all hockey fans. Yeah. I mean, most guys
why-
have jerseys from different teams.
Go
here,
find, release the show on any podcast app. And thank you, Michael, for letting me plug this here.
Oh,
But,
yeah, no problem.
leave us a review and all that good stuff, and we'll throw your name in the hat, and then we'll pull it out. And we put those videos on social media anyway, so we'll find you if you're the winner, and we'll buy you a Kraken jersey.
We'll find you. You heard it here first. We'll find you. We'll hunt you down. We'll get you. That's only if it's a bad review, but we'll find you.
So, hey, listen to our show. Give us an honest.
give an honest review.
And we'll send you an
Give
honest
review.
authentic jersey. This isn't like a gas station jersey. We will buy it from.
That's not the. Yeah, I didn't know. Awesome. Hey, so what I was going to say earlier before we got lost on a tangent there, which was all my fault. I think what we should do. Hey, there's some guys at Let's Go Blues Radio. I love the guys over there. You check them out too. LGBR Radio. Anyway, they're the longest running blues podcast. What I'll do, Brett, is I'll send you an intro. Ponder over there. He's awesome, great guy. Worked in radio for a long time, and anyway, they just do awesome production. The whole thing, as you call vets, they're great. We've had a couple of bets, a couple of wagers cross pod on different games and stuff. Once the regular season starts, I think you and I, every Oilers Kraken game, we need to have a little fun wager.
Absolutely.
It might be. The unfortunate is the Blues have been kicking our ass in Edmonton for a couple of years. So they've got some audio recordings of mine, cheering for the Blues or something like that they've they play on their podcast, and so I might do the same. Get you guys to do a nice little "We Love the Oilers" audio, or vice versa if the Kraken were to beat us.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in. We'll send Stanton your way. You send whatever Edmonton. What is Edmonton? Forgive my ignorance, but like, what would? Okay, sure.
Yeah.
That. Only get rain, man. We never get snow. That's the problem with us. It's always rain, and then if it gets cold, it just turns to ice.
Yeah. That's a good question. What are we known for? I mean, obviously, Canada's known for our rye and I don't know, guys. Help me out if you're listening. I've had a couple of things. I'm trying to think what.
Well, I mean, you got the strong beer. We know that.
Bridges is one. Yeah, it's some beer. Maybe actually, there are a ton of great microbreweries in Edmonton.
Cool.
Yeah, we can. Well, you know what? We'll figure something out. It's somebody said maple syrup. I don't think that's actually true, but. Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of things we're known for in Edmonton that they're saying on here, but none of them are stuff you can send. Like Edmonton, most festivals per capita, and
really?
Here's the thing. Okay, Edmonton's one of the northernmost cities in the world. I don't know if you knew that, but
no,
for its size, it's one of the northernmost. There is nothing within a half-hour drive of Edmonton. Like it's just kind of like it's all by itself. And that's fine, because what's happened is the city has had to do a lot of different things to make the city entertaining, right?
Sure.
And so, it's a couple-hour drive to the mountains. I mean, that's close, but it's not, it's not something you do just that same day, right? Like, or you could do a day trip, I guess. But anyway, you get my point. And so the city, the Fringe Festival. I don't know if you're familiar with the Fringe Festival.
Oh, sure.
But the Fringe Festival in Edmonton, depending on the year, is either number 1 or 2 largest Fringe Festival in the world.
Oh wow! We gotta get up there. I mean, I want to. This is
absolutely.
Another thing, like just having this new team and this new love affair with this new team, like getting to travel and check these games out. And of course, all these Canadian cities, like I'm so ready for that, man. I love it up there. I've been to Toronto, of course, Montreal, Vancouver, the spots that most people have been.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to check out the places I haven't been to.
Yeah.
Winnipeg. What the hell is Winnipeg about?
Okay,
Somebody explain Winnipeg to me?
You can bypass Winnipeg and you can bypass Calgary.
Oh.
You'll be doing all right. We're yeah. I mean, I tell you what, Brett. If you do anything, it's just don't cheer for the Flames ever. I mean,
no, you don't have to worry about that. It's only Seattle Thunderbirds, Kraken hockey, maybe the Everett Silvertips. That's another minor league team.
Yeah. I know the Silvertips.
Local stuff for us only. Spokane, of course. Why not? Not Portland though. Never Portland. Never.
Never Portland.
Never Portland. No.
The Winterhawks. Yeah. I mean, have you been to some WHL games? You're going to have to check that out for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Growing up all the time, I was saying we went to the Thunderbirds games. My parents would go. It's great, inexpensive family fun entertainment, minor league hockey. And great time. We used to have a blast going. The Old Key Arena, which is now the new Climate Pledge Arena, the new home of the Kraken.
Yeah.
And the construction they did there, I don't know if your listeners know a lot about that, but it's a totally environmentally friendly building. They collect the rainwater in Seattle and then turn it into the frozen, rink that or the
really.
Yeah, really. I mean, it sounds like
awesome.
a joke, but they're collecting the gray water or whatever you call it. So they're actually skating on frozen rain from the city. So that's really cool. And then of course, probably a bunch of solar panels and all kinds of other stuff. And so it's a really cool arena. And they just redid what was already there. It's the same classic skyline. So the skyline of the city didn't really change at all. They actually like hung the roof. I don't know if you guys ever saw pictures, but they had big cranes. And they like lifted up the roof and then kind of just held it there while they all worked under it. It was amazing.
Scared the crap out of me. Yeah.
So yeah. But so, I mean, just going to make for a state-of-the-art arena. And hopefully, of course, we can get the Sonics back someday also. And then, just keep all these pro sports rolling in Seattle.
I'm reminded by a friend of mine, his name's Name Cardinal, and he's got the largest Indigenous rookie card collection in the world.
Wow.
And not just that, but he is a hell of a guy. And he was talking about Ethan Bears, a fellow that played for Edmonton. And I forgot, he played in Seattle. He played his junior career in Seattle, and he was quite successful there.
Cool.
Hell of a player, yeah.
Great jerseys, by the way. The Seattle Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen that sweater, like look that thing up. Google image that. Really cool looking.
Yeah, I love the WHL, and I love junior hockey. I'm now I'm out in a different league, the QMJHL out here on the East Coast, and so I'm a season ticket holder in Halifax. The Mooseheads is our team out here, so I don't know. You know what? I should have. You're a bit of a last-minute guest. I should have prepared. There's probably some type of Kraken connection between the Mooseheads and
probably
and Seattle. I'll for next time. For next time when we're getting our wagers ready, I'll have that the Mooseheads Kraken hour. We'll
save it for when the games count.
Yeah, when the games count. Yeah. So tell me, what do you got? Tonight. By the way. The Kraken, the Oilers haven't held back. They've got their top two lines, regular season lines, coming out tonight.
Wow!
And so, you're going to get a chance to watch the game. You got it.
Yep.
Streamed?
I'm signing up for a free trial of ESPN Plus.
All right, there you go.
And because actually, this is so you might probably don't have to worry about this, but maybe people can fill me in. The email address for our show is releasetheshow@gmail.com. How am I going to watch the Kraken games? Because like I said, I'm an actor. I actually do live in Los Angeles. I'm born and raised in Seattle, but the business is here, so this is where I live.
NHL Live.
Is it NHL Live? Is it like Center Ice or something like that?
Ice, yeah, that's the one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I got to sign up for that then.
As long as the Kraken don't have a affiliate in California, which I don't think they would,
Okay.
then you're fine. You're good to go. The only games you won't be able to watch on center ice are the ones that are nationally televised.
Right. Okay. Well, then I got ESPN or whatever for that. So tonight, though, I think it's the free trial for ESPN Plus because these are preseason games. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
I think it's also going to be streamed right from the Seattle Kraken website. If you go to NHL.com/Kraken. There's a live stream. I'm looking at it right now. It's right there. So that's these preseason games are all.
I know.
In there.
I know that it might not be easy tonight against you guys. I mean, I get it.
I hope it's never easy against us, by the way. Yeah.
We came back, hey, we're down 2-0. Coach Hack has got a gritty bunch of guys out there. All right. I mean, I don't know what we're going to get with him, right? We talked about it on our show when he signed. Maybe you know more about his, experience than I do, obviously. But, we'll see what we get. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a swing. Right. They're trying to make a splash. We compared it to Pete Carroll with the Seahawks, kind of like a guy who has NHL experience, but not a ton of success. However, not like any real failures or anything either. So we don't really know what we're going to get. Do you know what we're going to get?
Yeah. I mean, you've got a fun lineup tonight. It's not guys that are, I would say they're not, this is not your starting lineup tonight, but you got Sheahan, who played here in Edmonton. You've got Tanev, who's a good player. Your top line tonight is a couple of, I'd say second or third line players. They're grinders, got a little bit of skill. Appleton's a hell of a player. And they'll be fun to watch. I think where you're gonna, what you're gonna enjoy tonight is watching, Alexiak, who's going to be on D. He's going to be playing against McDavid most of the night, and watching that back and forth. Alexiak's huge. He's like a monster. He is the Kraken.
Like 8 feet tall. Right?
Yeah.
How big is he when he puts on skates?
Oh, he's a giant. By the way, his sister is the winningest medalist in Canadian Olympic history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's a swimmer, and I think she's probably 17 years old, and she's won like 7 or 8 medals. Not all golds, but...
I'm writing that down. Using that on our show. We're going to record our show tonight, so I'm using that tonight.
Right on.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. Make sure you put credit on it there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I already told the boys I was coming on here, and they were like, "What are you going to talk about?" I was like, "I'm going to talk a bunch of shit about every other."
That's right. They're all worried. Don't say anything too stupid, Brett.
Well, it's funny. They both. I mean, they just both couldn't make it, and they were just like, "What are you gonna do over there?" And I was like, "I'm gonna stir some shit up. That's what I'm gonna do. We're a brand new team. Let's get into it. Why not?" And that's what seems so fun about this sport too. Like I've been to a bunch of Kings games living in LA.
Yeah.
I actually had a really fun experience one time. I went to a Kings game with someone in LA who was pretty fancy, like director, producer type. And we got to go like into the locker room and meet the guys. And like, this was way back when like Luke Robitaille was sitting on the training table and he's like getting me to smell some smelling salts and stuff. I was having a blast,
Yeah, I bet.
But like you were saying all this whole time, like these farm guys, these like just really down to earth, like humble dudes who are just, it was so fun. I've gotten to have a couple of really cool experiences in sports and stuff in my time. And that was just one that I will always think was just the coolest. The way that the players were just so like ribbing each other, talking about guys talk, it just seemed like brothers, in a really cool way. And so I always wanted to root for hockey. It just, everywhere I've lived in New York, I've lived in LA, everywhere has hockey teams, but it just never felt right because I'm such a Seattle guy through and through. So I know I keep saying it, but I just couldn't be more excited to have a team to finally call our own and root for.
I think it's great, and I think it's good for hockey. It's good for the Oilers, have another team, and it's not a far trip, right, from Edmonton. I mean, half the battle on the Western Coast is the travel that these teams go through. The California teams, obviously, they have a little bit of luck, with Anaheim, LA, and San Jose, but being Edmonton, Calgary, and Winnipeg, and those guys, it's long plane rides to get out there, right? And travel is always the hard part. I got to read this one comment coming from YouTube. It says, "Honestly, I wish Seattle every success, except of course when they face the Oilers. then they're dead to me, and I hope we punish them and blow them out of the water. That's coming from Robert on YouTube. That's
Same to you, Robert.
yeah. I couldn't have said it more eloquently, so that's why I had to read that word for word.
Hey,
He said what I was thinking. So
I love it. I feel the exact same way about every team I've ever rooted for. So
right.
I'm sure I'll feel the same way about every team that plays the Kraken. Like when the Seahawks play the Niners, I mean, it's like,
oh, yeah.
I totally get it. Like, it's fine. That's all good. Hey, friendly rivalries is what it's all about. Right?
Oh,
So
yeah. Well, you're going to love, getting a ticket in San Jose or LA or wherever, you're going to love that. You're going to love going and watching. Just outside of LA, there's a lot of good AHL minor league teams in Ontario and Bakersfield, if you ever wanted to go to Bakersfield.
Well, they're also, yeah. No, I don't really want to go to Bakersfield.
Yeah.
But they're putting also one of our minor league franchises is going to be in Palm Springs, I think, or something like that.
Nice. So go grab a round of golf and go. The old Oilers owner is holed up in Palm Springs if he's not in jail.
Oh. Did he also just own the Trashers? Have you seen that documentary yet?
No. What's it called?
Oh, you got to check this out on Netflix. There's a hockey documentary called like Crime and Penalties or something like that, but it's about the minor league team, the Danbury Trashers from and how they were owned by like the real life Tony Soprano. You got to check this thing out.
All right, I'm gonna check that out. Have you seen Slapshot yet?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I saw Slapshot growing up. My dad showed me that. So yeah, no, I'm well versed. I'm well versed in Mighty Ducks as well. Of course, I've done all my homework.
That's right. You've done all the tropes and everything.
Oh, I know. We pointed this out on our show. I don't know. Maybe your listeners, you guys tell me if you guys knew this yet or have recognized this yet. But Mighty Ducks. Okay, for 1 second, if you'll allow me, Michael.
You bet. Yeah.
Gordon Bombay, the head coach of the Mighty Ducks. Okay.
Yep.
It's a kids movie. Let's not forget he's coaching the team because he gets pulled over for a DUI. First of all, Disney. Hello.
I know. Yeah.
This is a different time, right? Okay. But not only is he pulled over for the DUI and can't talk himself out of it, so now he's got to coach this kids hockey team. But his name, guys, is Gordon Bombay. That's two different kinds of gin.
That is two different kinds of gin.
Two kinds of gin.
I've never even thought of that.
Now, Michael, you might think I'd stop there, but no. Okay. Later in the movies, the Ducks get outfitted, right? I think this might be in the second movie, maybe not in the first one, because in the first one, they get outfitted by Mr. Ducksworth. So in the second one, maybe, they get outfitted by Hendricks Hockey Company. Guess what, guys? That's the third kind of gin. Hendricks Gin 3.
Yeah. It's all sponsored. It's and you wonder why kids are drinking gin nowadays, right?
You wonder why every young hockey player taking the ice
drinking gin.
Thank you, Gordon Bombay.
and Disney. Wow. Yeah, it broke it first here, folks. In case you're wondering. Now you know.
That's what you get on Release the Show, by the way. That's what you get on our podcast. It's not all about the Kraken. Yeah. It's a quick half an hour for hockey fans. Anyone can listen. You don't just have to root for the Kraken.
Oh, man. You know what, Brett, I can tell right away you guys, you've got I got Jay on YouTube says that's deep-seated subliminal Hollywood stuff right there. Brett, by the way, is part of the establishment, Jay. He's part of he's the guy that he probably had something to do with that.
That's right, man. I was on an MTV show for like 5 years. I went to high school twice, fully. I think. I do a morning show.
Some of us did. You know what they say about high school girls. Right?
I know. No, I was going to say I do a daily morning show for an internet streaming station called Adobe, and it's called the Brett Davern Show. You guys can find that podcast out there anywhere. We're on every single day. We're actually having our 1,000th episode of that podcast this coming Friday. But what was I going to say? Oh, the point is that we say on that show that I'm the guy who graduated high school 4 times, because I've played characters who have graduated high school 4 different times. I've worn a cap and gown. I've done it a million times.
Nice.
I'm fully used to it. So yeah, I was on a show on MTV called Awkward where we were playing high school. I was like 38 playing 15.
That's like MTV's version of Degrassi, probably, which is like a Canadian stalwart.
Yes. I am not Drake. I would be a little further down the list than Drake. I don't know. Actually, I don't even know where Drake falls in on that show, but whatever.
Right on. You know what, Brett? It's been. Hey, I got something to tell you. Here's my little claim to fame. This is for you because you can. And Name, who's been listening to the Indigenous Hockey Card Guy. I'm 50% Cree, by the way, which is indigenous to northern Alberta and some of the plains, and that's on my mom's side, very proudly. But I won a contest this year for Upper Deck. And so in the next My MVP Upper Deck set that comes out sometime, I think next month or this month, you can open up a pack of hockey cards and you can catch one of my cards in there.
Nice.
And so I like to call it the "Who the hell is this guy" card. Some poor kid spends his last $2 on a pack of hockey cards and sees my mug smiling at him. But anyway, that's my rookie card. I waited a number of years to get it. I only had to graduate high school once. but what are the stats? What are the stats on the back? Yeah, no, thankfully I'm over a point a game stat in rec league, in hockey league. Nice. But if you're not, well, then there's trouble. Just about everybody that plays rec is a
Dude, that's awesome. I want an autograph card for sure.
You know what? They sent me 120 of them. I can't. I'm not even sure I got 120 friends, to be honest.
I'm gonna send you my mailing address because I'm gonna send you a release the show T-shirt too. We got a merch store already, man. I'm like hawking everything.
I don't even have a merch store.
We got a merch store going. I'm gonna send you a T-shirt, man. We're gonna get this friendly rivalry going, especially between the pods.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah, no, I love having some podcasts that I can interact with and good guys like yourself. This is for those still listening. We're gonna wind it down here, get ready for the hockey game, but releasing next week. And Brett, I want you to check it out too. heavyhockey.com and the Oilers Live show, which I started about 4 years ago now. We founded the Heavy Hockey Network, and on the Heavy Hockey Network, we've got will be 4 podcasts right away. Right now, we've got 3. There's my show I do on Tuesdays. We've got Straight Off the Pipe podcast, which is Dash and Durst. They do on Thursdays, and then the 99 Forever podcast, a tribute to, of course, the great Wayne Gretzky, who wore an Oilers jersey for a number of years, and that's just a recorded podcast that goes whenever Eric does the pod, and then we're going to announce a 4th one here right away. That's a non-Oilers podcast. Anyway, you can go there. We've got a group of writers that are starting to write articles and editorials for the site, and we've got a couple other things, a merch store that's going to happen, and Heavy Hockey. It's not dead. It's just getting started, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's happening right away. So keep an eye out for that. I'm looking forward. I haven't listened to your podcast yet, but I'm going to tune in. You say you're going to do one tonight?
Well, hey, we're recording tonight, and here's the thing. If you go ahead and tune in, remember, we had no games to talk about and no team to talk about, and there were no practices or anything. So, we're introducing a lot of fans, especially in Seattle, to hockey,
Yep.
Even though there's a lot of fans who are waiting for it. There's a lot of fans who are new to it. So we do Hockey 101 segments, and we spotlight certain players who are coming to town. And dude, the point is, I'm so excited tonight to record, to finally talk about our thrashing that we gave those Canucks. And then hopefully the good game coming up with you guys. So excited to finally talk real games,
Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah, check us out, everybody. Release the show. And like I said, hey, even if you're a fan of Michael's here and all that, but if you leave us a review, we'll put your name in the hat. And you might be able to add a Kraken jersey to your collection because it's on the house. It's an authentic jersey and all that good stuff. So, but thank you for having me, Michael. Honestly, it's so nice to meet you. And I just look forward to like a bunch of shit talking for years and years and years.
You bet. Yeah, we call it chirping, of course, in hockey, and there'd be lots of chirping between the two of us, all in good fun, of course. Unless, of course, it's for the Stanley Cup, in which case I mean everything I say.
Then yeah. All
right, Brett, I am going to let you finish the show. And when you're done, if you don't mind just staying for 2 seconds, but you get the last word tonight, and then I'll shut her down.
Well, hey, like I was just kind of saying, just thank you, Michael, for having me on. Thank you, Oilers fans, for allowing me to get on here and crack wise a little bit. Just couldn't be more excited for the Kraken and our new team. And thank you guys for welcoming us to the league. I know our name is a little silly, but if you watched us play the other night, we're playing real hockey here, and it's a real team with good lineage, like we said, a fan base that's ready to be behind them. We're undefeated in franchise history. We've already won a Stanley Cup in Seattle. What more do you need? So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Michael, for having me.
Oilers Live